All right, y'all. Welcome to Desert Armory and More and YouTube. This is an antique firearm made in the late 1800s, around 1889 to 1897. And because of that, it's not considered a firearm. So I can pretty much do what I would like with this because since it's not a firearm, it does not go under the same rules as a firearm. This is an antique, defined by the ATF as an antique because it is older than 1899. Anyways, we need to do some work on it. And I have to disassemble some of it that I already messed with because we have to see if we can get these trigger sets to fit. Unfortunately, it did fall once when I had it like together part way. And it bent something. As long as it doesn't break it, because I had another one of these break across here. Or was it here on the old one? Anyways, or if the wood breaks, we don't want the wood to break. This butt is from a different antique firearm. And the barrel and this front here is from a different. And so are these triggers. Sorry, the hammers right here. Are these the right ones? No, the ones we're looking for right here, I believe. It's for an Eclipse. This is an Eclipse antique. This one does have this little thingy here that's supposed to connect in there. I gotta squeeze that in there, but I don't want to do that until I know. This one is missing the spring here. So hopefully one of my other ones I'll have the spring for it, but I need to clean these up real good. Possibly an ultrasonic cleaner, but yeah, these have to be those little fingers there on this part there has to be latched in right there. And again, this is an antique. It is not a firearm. So I hope I can have one of these springs that'll be about the same size possibly. I had one that roughly fit, but then it wasn't quite. But this is supposed to be for this antique. So I think we could possibly get this to fit if I can get that in there. It's going to be the hardest thing to figure out how to get that in there. And this just pulls out like so, the little spring thing. Latch it on there. Probably have to pinch it with pliers. And then, yeah, latch it underneath. Slide this up and over into that hole. Ooh, she's a pretty tight one. Yeah, that's the problem we're running into to get it in lined up. Wow, that is hard to get all of them lined up together. Let's see if I can get it with the regular pliers because they're a little easier to squeeze compared to these needle nose. Okay, it needs slid forward more, but it doesn't really slide forward more. This is the spring that was in it, so it's not like this was the wrong one. There's probably some trick to it, but I got to undo this stuff anyways. I'll probably run these through the ultrasonic cleaner, would be my guess. I think this already did at one time. I can't remember. Spring's not broke on this one, but it's just really, really slow. It's got a weird screw set there for it. It's got the two little dots that you've got to use. And let's see, it looks like these might need a little bit of help. The firing pin, they're a little worn and stuck, so this probably needs just, partway taken apart. Those lightly ground a little bit so they slide better. But this is, if I recall, the Eclipse, which I have the barrel right here. Here's the barrel right here. This is called the Eclipse Meteor number 6212 compressed steel Belgian. So it's not Damascus, it's not laminated, it's compressed. Kind of weird, huh? That seems to be fairly stout, not wiggly like they usually are. But it's got the Belgian marks here. It shows it's a 12. That should be like the gauge of it. And then it's got the Crown ELG with a star. Crown ELG with a star. And then it says choke 180. And then this one says 182. So it's slightly different on the left barrel versus the right. Patent is December 1892. So again, it is younger than 1899, and ATF says 1899 and above is not an antique, needs registered. Anything older than that is considered an antique and not a firearm. Hence, this is not a firearm because it's an antique, and it's also black powder. This specifically black powder, nothing else. It looks like this one does have the bead sight. I know one of mine were missing the bead. This one has very little etching on it, just a little bit here. It's got some little etching right here. Actually, believe it or not, I didn't notice this before. It has a little gold inlay still there. I didn't even know it had gold inlay. Right there, I don't know if y'all can see that. Right about there, there's a little gold inlay. That I did not notice. And there's a little bit on the side here. A little bit of gold inlay. That was news to me. I didn't notice that before. That's cool. Does that mean the receiver has some? Maybe. I don't think I see any on the receiver. One of them, the receiver was separate from the barrel. This is let's see, this has 196, 112. Let's see if it's the same numbers on these. Yeah, these barrels are just wiggly all over the place. They don't like staying. Yep, exactly the same numbers. So this receiver matches with the barrel. Now this butt would not, because this butt was, I found online elsewhere. Old steel, flat blades. I might do like a real light sand or just put oil on it. We'll see. But it has some number here. I think 11V or 11, some slant thing. Yeah, it does not quite line up perfect here. So one of my friends was saying I need to put a certain type of bead glass or something like that in here to fill that in. Make sure that, of course, it's lined up like this. And then, it's all... This was for a Eclipse. But some Eclipse, depending what year they are probably just a hair different. And each receiver is made to the butt that it came with. So this might all line up, but that might not. So we will put one that... We will try this here. Slide this in. It's supposed to slide in like this. It's a little tight because each one is made to the receiver. So we might have to do some machine work on this. Just a little with a file. But it should line up pretty good. And then this direction, let's see if that lines up. Yes, that should line up pretty good. I just got to do a little bit of fitment, a little bit of grinding on this. And then a teeny bit of work on maybe the wood a little bit on the side here, and a teeny bit of cleanup on the metal just so it's tight. And then we should have some trigger sets, but we are missing the spring for the one. We had the spring for this one. The spring for this one we do not. So slow getting more and more parts together for rebuilding this one. But I don't know if you guys were wondering what's the update on some of these old shotguns that I've been working on. So I finally, this one's taken so long to get together because it's an oddball brand, made in Belgium, which a lot of these old ones are. But since this is such an oddball brand, instead of like a Williams or an F Williams or like a, what's the other ones I got? A Sterling, an HJ Sterling. There's a couple of them out there that are a little more common too. But the Eclipse, they made in a couple different models, and it's hard to find parts for them. So anyways, we got a couple more parts. I might clean these up a little bit, put them in the Sonic Cleaner or something, I don't know. I don't want to take off too much of the original finish because I'm probably going to leave this one as original as I can. I want it to look more original as I can once it's done. There's another one I've been working on that I need to bend the what do you call it, rabbit ears a little bit. I got to heat those up real good and bend them closer. That one's pretty much done. I think that's all it needs done. That one I might decide to blue. I might clean it up a little bit better because it had some pitting on the outside of the barrel. That one I think is either laminated or Damascus. But that one had some pitting, and so I had to grind off some of that, and you could see that more. So I'll probably re-blue that gun. It's from late 1800s as well. And again, it's an antique, just like this one. It's not considered a firearm. I did get a forearm for it, a fore-end. It needs a little bit of work. It is for an Eclipse, but it doesn't quite latch right. So I need to do a little bit of work on it to, I think it was this one. No, actually, this is the right one for this one. This one's correct. It's for another one I was working on. It's an American, yeah, see that fits perfect. It's an American, North American Arms or something like that. That one is for a Crescent, which North American Arms was a Crescent. But again, each one is modeled after the parts it fits, and maybe American Firearms did a different way than Crescent, but they're very compatible if you do a little bit of manipulating on some of the latch system for this fore end on the Crescent that I have, well, American Firearms or whatever. And that's an antique one as well. So all of these are antiques. Anyways, appreciate y'all coming by. Thought I'd give you an update on this. And you all have a blessed weekend. Till next time, folks.